I'm just kind of curious how the BMW bikes, if they, are very, very good at rolling through the snow.
I don't know if the bike is any better riding in the snow. I think it all comes down to where
Maybe the
you
tires or something.
the tires, and then
Bigger tires.
no, Kevin. Also, it depends on where
Go to the dark side.
you grew up. I mean, if you grew up where there's a lot of snow during the year, you kind of learn how to ride in the snow as you do as the rain. But then you also know there's certain ways and certain snow conditions
Or certain bikes.
yeah,
Too.
that you don't want to. I mean, there's been a lot of Harley riders and Honda riders that actually have got stuck out in the snow and rode home with no problem. So, it's just knowing how to ride is the important thing. And YouTube can give you a lot of ideas how to ride. If you're a new rider, I really recommend looking at YouTube and looking at, all the various like riding in the rain, riding in the snow. It'll give you ideas what to look for. You're going to look at it could happen to you. It'll give you some tips on how to ride in it.
Okay. What I think from my personal experience from riding in the rain a lot, and the few times I got caught in the snow, I think riding with a smaller bike, any type of bike really, honestly, something with a smaller engine, something that's lightweight, you're able to pick up, start it back up with no issues. I think those are a lot more safer to handle in the snow and the rain, because if you go down, the bike won't be as heavy to pick back up again. You won't have to worry about the bike falling on you either.
Well, also too, Kevin, too, if you get a bike with more clearance, from the bottom frame to the road, like some of the bikes out there,
like the cruisers, too.
No, yeah, well, I'm saying not this. I'm talking about the KH, whatever they are.
Okay.
They're designed for like riding more off road. Like if you're going to Alaska.
Oh,
for
you're
example.
talking about the dual sports.
Yeah,
I love those bikes.
Yeah,
I want to get one so bad.
Yeah, well, they're more designed for that type of thing because they're designed. You take them off road, they have higher clearance and stuff than your cruiser has. I mean, if you can barely just put your head underneath between your frame and the pavement underneath it or your garage floor, that's not going to be much clearance to go out there and try a ride in the snow. I'm telling you that right now. But if you go into some of these dual sport bikes, and you've got a lot more clearance between the frame and the ground. So yes, you can probably and the tires are different too.
Oh yeah, because they got those
a little bit more of a knobby type of
well, they
tire
got that
to
dirt
them.
bike type.
That's
tire.
what I said. More of a knobby type of tire rather than a street pattern type of tire. So they're made for riding off road. So yeah, if you're out there and you get stuck in the snow, I'd rather be on one of those. But
one of those dual sports, yeah.
Yeah, but the smart thing is, if it's snowing, don't ride your bike. Seriously, I mean,
unless you're riding a dual sport or something that you can handle, something that's safe with the tires. With the tires okay, the brakes are okay, your oil's good. Just do a quick, thorough check. If it's snowing, you got to get to point A to point B. Just do a thorough check. Make sure you're warm, dress in layers, make sure you have proper protection. And
another thing too, which I never had to use, but like when I went out riding a lot like in January with the group rides I put on, in January, February, I always carried an extra set of socks in the saddlebag just in case my feet got soaking wet because it was really cold. So, I never actually changed it. I know my wife did. At one point, we were out riding and her feet got wet and cold, so she put on dry socks, and that made a difference. So if you're out there, even commuting to work and stuff, make sure you carry a spare set of socks or two sets of socks with you in a plastic bag, and then you should be good to go.
Well, if also rain pants too. You got to get proper rain pants. I've gone far distances in the rain, like going to certain casinos, and I've gone far distances, and when I got there, my pants would be just drenched in water, and I didn't bother to get the right rain pants, but now that I'm properly geared, I'm I'm willing to go
Well,
out in the rain more.
And Kevin too, I'm not mentioning brand of stores because I won't do that, but it is really important you go to a good shop. Don't go to a discount house to buy your gear because I'll be honest with you, some of this stuff is so inferior. So when I usually buy my gear and stuff, I go into a major store. It handles it, has a huge selection, has a good warranty.
Read
to
the
back
reviews too, also, because you don't want something that's going to burn to your pipes or something that's going to
not just your pipes.
Something that's going to cause more money in the long run for you.
Well, yeah, especially on rain pants. If you look at them, like I made a mistake and went into a discount shop, maybe a little over a year ago. I have the rain pants sitting in my closet. I refused to wear them after I wore them one time and they touched the pipe and it melted on the pipe. Then I actually contacted the manufacturer about it, and all it is basically a paper type of fabric coated with a wax type of coating, and dye to make their rain pants. And these were like $30 rain pants, which I thought would be a good quality pants. Maybe they're a type of paper, type of material that will hold up for a while, but you know what? What good is it if it melts when it makes contact with your pipes or your side of the engine, which undoubtedly it's going to do?
Yeah, and the pants, they felt good. They look good, they feel good, but they're like, it's like a fake. As soon as you put them on, you get on the bike and you're going, you're soaked.
Well, not just that. I just know that the one time I wore these ones, and they are a major manufacturer.
I still have that pair too. It's in my room, and the whole thing's burnt in pieces.
Yeah, I mean, I went out and put them on one time.
Caught fire.
And mine didn't catch fire, but it actually melted. And then, it wasn't so bad about it melting. I could live with it melting, but when I took them off and looked at my pants underneath it, and it was like melted wax all over my pants, which was almost impossible to remove off. You get what you pay for. So when you go out and buy rain pants and rain gear,
or anything for that matter, you just got to buy. You got to buy a good quality. Quality, always.
You're not going to get good rain pants that it's going to hold up and protect you in all the cold and the rain for $39. I hate to say it. I mean, you can find some for around $69 up. But again, you get what you pay for. If you pay $39 for a pair that lasts 2-3 rides in the rain and then you throw them away, that's $39, man, gone. That's,
Well, another thing, why would you buy something that has very bad reviews and super cheap, and something that's very good is like, $5 more or $10 more, but you decide to buy the cheaper one just to save $5 to $10.
Well, that was my mistake. And I also bought neck warmers too. I went in, these neck warmers are on sale for like $6.99. Well, you know what they were worth? They were worth $6.99.
Well, I got those freeze out masks, and those I got 2 of those, and I still use them.
Yeah, well, I find myself getting a nice, thick one. And that's what I asked for from Santa Claus this year. And I got him a good, heavy face protection that is thick, not thin. So, I mean, I learned my lesson last year riding in the cold. I mean, it didn't really do anything. I mean, I was still just as cold as I was without. I just didn't have the wind blowing on me. A good warm one, a thick one, is going to actually keep your neck warm and your face warm. So you pay $6.99 or you pay $29.95. Learned my lesson. I'd rather pay the $29.95 and enjoy my ride,
and then get it done and over with.
Oh yeah,
just have it paid for. That way you don't have to keep worrying about it, and that way you don't have to worry about it during the ride. You're like, oh man, is this ride over with? Because I'm so cold, my face is so cold. This mask does not work,
Okay, now another thing too, like on most cruisers, like the Harley, some of the major Victory, Indian, their wheels are aluminum wheels, and yes, they may put a clear coating on them. But if you live in the Northwest and maybe a lot of other states, Either they use a salt on the road, or in our state, in our area, they use actually an antifreeze compound. And what that does, it gets on your rims, and the next thing you know, if you don't come back from your ride,
and you're not cleaning it,
and you're not spraying your rims down with some type of cleaner and putting a protective coating, like I like using a Pledge. Armor All makes a coating for aluminum mag wheels that you just kind of like put it on you spray it on to like a cotton ball and just wipe it on the your rim, and it puts a coating on there. One thing it does do, it keeps it from corroding, but you have to do it a couple times a month. Otherwise, your wheels will start corroding. Now, I learned my lesson last year. My wheels, when I started really riding my bike again heavy, around, I'd say about April, I looked at my wheels and they just looked horrible. I mean, they had so much corrosion on them. And you know what? You can sit there with 000 steel wool and spend a whole day cleaning them off, but they're never going to look as good as they did when you bought the bike from the factory.
Well, question, what do you think about aluminum wheels versus chrome wheels? To me, chrome wheels beats any other wheels.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, my brother worked in a chrome plating shop his whole adult life as a plater and a buffer. And one time years ago, and I'm talking years ago, we were talking, and he said, yes, you can chrome plate virtually anything. You can put you can chrome plate aluminum wheels, but aluminum gives off gases. Okay, and so you can sit there and put a plating underneath the chrome and then chrome plate it. But if you actually look at any used bike, it's been like 2-3 years old, that has chrome wheels on it, you're going to see not just rusting. You'll actually see where the chrome is lifting off the aluminum wheel.
Of course.
Okay, so
it's better than pitting, though.
Not necessarily, because if you go out and drop $1,300 for a set of chrome rims, and then you sit there, 3 years later, the chrome is starting to peel off of your rim. This is like when we went to that one Harley dealership. It was before you bought your last bike. You looked at one that had chrome wheels on it. The first thing I noticed about those really fancy chrome wheels on a bike that was a couple years old, the chrome was already starting to bubble up on it.
Are you talking about the one?
Don't mention the name of the shop.
No, I'm not. Are you talking about the one?
It was an ultra classic in Tacoma.
Yeah, in Tacoma.
Yeah, and you really liked it because it had really sexy chrome wheels on it.
Yeah, it was the only one there that had chrome wheels.
Yeah, and the problem is when I got down there and looked at the wheels, because that's the type of things I look at, I noticed it was already starting to blister, the chrome. So you can get a bike with real fancy chrome wheels, but then after it starts peeling off of it, you don't have chrome, and it looks worse than having... Well, at least if you get aluminum wheels, you can sit there. And if you get pitted on it, you can actually go for the route of getting some like real fine grit sandpaper and then steel wool it and then buff it back out. You can't do it if your chrome peels off.
This is not... Well, I don't think this is entirely true, because I remember when I was riding with my red Kawasaki 1500, my Kawasaki Vulcan, and when I first bought it, it was cleaned up good, but it had a lot of rust when I first got it. And then you Dad, got me into cleaning, waxing, taking aluminum foil and taking out all the rust, and that's what I did.
Yeah, but it still didn't look. It didn't.
And it looked beautiful. I mean, chrome to me as my opinion.
But you didn't have aluminum rims. You had steel rims. You had tube tires, and it was on a steel rim. Different than having chrome on aluminum rim. So you have to look at that. So, like I said,
well, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying put chrome on aluminum.
That's the problem. If you're riding a Victory, you're riding an Indian, you're riding a Harley, and you go out and buy wheels for it, you're getting aluminum wheels that are plated. And down the road, unless you live in Arizona or California or someplace where it's hot and dry, what's going to happen is even there, down the road, if you ride it a lot, and depending on the weather, you're going to actually find the chrome is going to start lifting and bubbling. And then when you go to touch it, you're going to find it just like flaking off. So now you're looking at raw aluminum underneath the chrome, and it's going to look icky. And I've not just seen it on that shop we're at. I know some guys from all